Good evening, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants and Catholics of North America and the European Union, or just Europe in general. So I'm going to talk a bit more about Orthodox Pascha, or as everyone else calls it, Easter, and I'm going to tell you about some more of the difference between Orthodox and Catholic Easter. So, before I mentioned in the last episode that I'd tell you about the symbols on the cross and what they mean. So I'm going to show you the cross again. This is the Orthodox cross. And so what these letters mean, IC, XC at the top, these are letters that are a shortened version of Jesus Christ's name in Greek. So IC is short for Jesus, and XC is short for Christ, and the NIKA is a shortened version of conquers. So it basically says Jesus Christ conquers. So other than that, I will tell you about some other difference between Orthodox and Catholic Pascha. So, oh yeah, another thing, the name Pascha, that's a Greek word that a lot of the Orthodox use to describe Easter. A lot of Catholics, they don't use it for whatever reason. I don't think they use a lot of Greek words, so I think that might be why. And so, another thing about Easter, Orthodox Easter, is we have an event, or a tradition, or I don't know how to describe it, but before Easter happens, you go through about a month of what is called the Great Lenten. And so what that is you go about a month refraining from eating things like meat and dairy. And so the Catholics, what they typically do is they don't do the dairy part. They do whatever. I think they don't refrain from eating cheese and drinking milk and stuff like that. And they only refrain from doing such on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Orthodox Great Lenten, we do the fasting for the full 40 days of Lenten, and if that's too hard for us, we can do the Catholic version and only refrain from eating meat and dairy on specific days. Now, this is not a required thing. You can just do this if you want, but it's recommended if you really want to really respect the Lord and take part in the church. And so, let's see what else we have here. So, another difference between Catholic and Orthodox Easter is the time difference. So, typically, Catholic Easter will come first and Orthodox Easter will come after. The reason for that is when the church split into two and became two entities, the Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church, the Catholics wanted a lot of change, so they created their own calendar known as the Gregorian calendar, created by Gregory III. I forgot what country he's from, but I believe he was a monk, and so Gregory created the calendar in order to, I don't exactly know why, but they made it in order to have difference from the Orthodox, and they just wanted some events excluded. I don't know if that's exactly true, but I believe that's how it'd be. And the Orthodox, we go by the Julian calendar, and also sometimes a revised version of the Julian calendar. So sometimes certain churches will they'll celebrate the normal Easter, and they will just have it on the same day as Catholics. Oh yeah, and another thing. So on Palm Sunday, when you receive the palms to make crosses and where are they? I don't know what they are. I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like it's like a prayer rope. The Orthodox, they have prayer ropes instead of where are they? Rosary beads, and so it's, I don't know, you braid it in a certain way, and it somewhat resembles, at least to me, a prayer rope, and it's like this rectangular piece of palm, and I don't know the significance behind it, but that's one of the things that you make out of palms, and you also make crosses. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning all this is because we have different types of palms. The Catholic Church, they use they use wider palms that are a lot cheaper, and I've experienced having to use these before in a few Paschas ago, and you have to split them apart in order to make like a decently sized cross. Let me show you an example of some crosses I've made in the past few Paschas. That's one. Oops. And we have another one. This one's not as good, but it's at least something. And so the Catholics, they have these palms that are a bit long and a bit wide, and they're a little hard to make into crosses and whatever the braid was. And what the Orthodox have for palms is they have like, I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like a scaled down like corn on the cob. You know how like it has the husk on it? It's kind of like that, and the palms are kind of like layered on top of each other until it gets to this like core of like a bent like a, what is it, like a spike of palm, I suppose, and you just peel them off similar to like a corn husk, and you make them into crosses. So what else do we have? So oh yeah, another thing is, last video I said that Orthodox Easter comes after Passover always. I actually found out that's not always the case. For some reason, that was just a theme that was noticed by someone, and it was created as like a rule, even though it's actually not the case at all. So another thing that the Orthodox have, which not many Catholics take part in, is Paschal greetings, or Paschal greetings. And what that is on Pascha, when you go up to someone and you say hello, you don't just say Happy Easter and such. We have a few different ways of saying that. So instead of saying Happy Easter, in English most people will say Christ is risen, and you would respond with Indeed he has risen, Indeed he has risen, or Truly he has risen. And so we do these in different languages. My church, a lot of us do it in Arabic. The way that you say this is Al-Misacham, and you would respond with Khanam. So that's Arabic. Then we have Greek. This is pronounced Christos Anesti, and you would respond with Alistos Anesti. And then sometimes you have Russians. I don't know any Russian Orthodox people, but you're greeted with Christos Voskres, and you respond with Voistino Voskres. And so those are the greetings, and if anyone that's Arab or Greek or Russian and they're Orthodox and you know that for a fact, and it's their Easter, say that to them. Say Al Mesacham, say Christos Anesti, say whatever to them, and they'll be happy about it. So I think that's all I can come up with for now. I'll try to think of more things for a third part if possible. And yeah, that's all I have for now. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and have a lovely night.